Hey guys, this is Matt for Creative, and today we're talking about Brooklyn Mirage. We're talking about going back to Brooklyn Mirage after what's been happening to this venue over the last few years. If you live in New York City, Brooklyn, any of these surrounding areas, maybe for the last few years that you've known that for the EDM scene, the electric dance music scene, the Brooklyn Mirage venue has been just the pinnacle. It's been where all the big acts go, and it's kind of been the last few years where you're forced to go if you want to see those big acts. And after a few news stories, which you can kind of look up yourself, I was getting reservations about going back there. At the beginning of last, I think let's call it the 2023 season, because what this is, it's an open air venue. So they have their openings in usually late April or May, and they go on until it's warm enough to stay there. I think maybe until September, and then they close up. But they have other venues around that area, like Avant Gardner, I think King's Hall. It's just other inside venues. But the main place that all of these DJs go and all of the people in New York want to go is the outside venue, Brooklyn Mirage. So what I'm going to say, take a look online. The venue itself, I love the venue. It's just bare bones, concrete slab on the inside, and just wide open. So you can have different experiences, either a DJ at the front and the entire crowd here. Sometimes they do 360 venues where, here's like the layout and then the artist is right here in the middle, and it's just good. Now, a lot of people complain about things that I really don't have issues with, namely overcrowding during big names being there. I never had an issue with that. I'm not a people person, but I'm kind of like, when I'm in an EDM setting, I'm about the vibe of it. If I'm seeing a DJ, an artist that I really, really like, I'm just going to be into it no matter if there are people there or not. I remember coming early to venues like Deadmau5, because Deadmau5 is coming back. I remember going early and just, when you go early or kind of when doors open, think of that. This is like the layout. DJ is here. There's kind of nobody here. And it's kind of just like, maybe it's dusk. Maybe you can still see the sun and in the summertime. And it's a nice vibe. And then when it gets packed up, when the main DJ is there, it's just really, it hits hard and it's really good. But again, there have been things, very negative things, because if you don't know the area around Brooklyn Mirage, there is basically nothing there. It's warehouses. For me, when I got done going out there after drinking and after things getting off at like 2 or 3, that's kind of like a scary area. And my first recommendation is, if you're going this weekend or for this entire season, please plan out where you're going to go. Either go with friends when you're walking to the subway, because I think a walk to the subway, the L train, that's about 20 minutes. You're going to be going through a lot of areas that are not well lit and they're just desolate. This is a prime place where something could happen to you guys, so please do that. Another thing, if you are taking Uber or Lyft or anything, do not go to the people who just say Lyft, 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 because they don't work with the app. They don't work. They're probably unlicensed taxis, possibly, not saying all of them are, but they will probably ask you for cash. And that's another thing. If you are maybe if you're drunk, maybe if you're just gone, your mind is gone, you're tired or whatever it is, you don't want to be alone with these people because they are probably not drunk and they probably have the wherewithal to maybe take advantage of you. These are just key things. For me, I always try to call the car within the venue for when I go outside, but there are some times, and it really depends on not really the service, but the device and everything, where you just can't get service. And then if you are walking to the subway and you're thinking, oh, I kind of want to get a car now, you may find yourself in a dead zone, and that's just something that's no good. So this is a precaution on what I've seen over the last few years. I've been going before the pandemic when people say it was like prime. But for me, after what had happened and some issues that I've just had with like maybe security being a little bit rude or patrons being a little bit rowdy, I was kind of winding down on that venue. First, for me, living in Midtown Manhattan, that's a far trip away from me. If I choose to drink, I'm going to be taking an Uber or a Lyft. If I go with friends, I may take a subway just because, it's all of us together and we can walk all together. But the times when I don't drink, I have my electric bike and I'll just use that and I'll just go all the way over there. And again, if I'm not drinking, that's perfectly fine. If I am drinking, that's just bad news. Don't do it. Don't drive, especially there. Always take like public transportation of some kind. I don't know if they have a bus. I don't know what that is. I've never used that to get there. But for me, it is Uber by myself or train with a group of friends. Just think about that. But yeah, after a while, I was just kind of thinking, I don't really want to go here anymore. And I was thinking, along with others, is there another place that we could go to? And it actually turns out, for the beginning of the 2024 year, after an issue the parent company had with Izu, again, look that up too, where people were demanding refunds and DJs were not happy. When they were announcing the slate for Brooklyn Mirage, first, they did not have the season pass, which they had in previous 2 years or previous 1 year, didn't offer that. And I thought, okay, there's something up here. And then all of a sudden, it was just like, okay, there are a few artists coming, like Armin van Buuren was announced. Who else was announced? Cosmic Gate was announced, but that's actually a Great Hall thing on the inside, not Brooklyn Mirage. And I was kind of like, there are some other DJs which I kind of know about, but not huge names. And then Tiesto announced. Not at Brooklyn Mirage. They announced all the way in Brooklyn Navy Yard, which is totally the opposite way. I think Brooklyn Mirage is more in the Queens direction, and Brooklyn Navy Yard is really down deep. What's the area called? It's in Brooklyn. It's just the opposite, complete opposite way. And it's not really a venue that I really want to go to, but I'm more about going to these other venues because different artists that I do like have started going to different venues. Like one of my newly found favorite artists for me, Rami, was playing at the Knockdown Center. It's a place where my friends have gone. I personally have never gone there, but I was like, okay, this is a venue, I've never been there, but I'm going because the DJ is there. In past years, I would assume that maybe Rami, and of course Tiesto, would be going to Brooklyn Mirage or the Great Hall. I really assumed that they would be doing that. But then we got another announcement. Here it is. Deadmau5 is playing the opening, and I do quotes in opening because you'll see why in a sec. But he's playing the opening May 2nd and 3rd, and I was like, Deadmau5 is my favorite DJ. I will go see Deadmau5. I've seen Deadmau5, I think within the year, at Marquee in Manhattan here. Good for me, close. Marquee is not the best venue. Also is like during the wintry months, the cold months, so it's not really like the outside experience that this is. But Deadmau5, May 2nd, May 3rd, I'm extremely excited. I got tickets for the second one. I was even so excited where I got VIP. And I'm like, I'm ready for this. But then looking down the line, I was like, I don't really see big DJs that really pull me. Armin van Buuren could be one of them. I may end up going there, but I don't have that pull to go there every weekend. I remember 2 years ago, I was talking to my friend. It was so hard to get tickets, and I was like, I wish I could go every weekend. The price was getting super high, and the tickets were sold out immediately, where you'd have to get them on third-party markets, scalpers, and it was just kind of sketchy and kind of got too expensive to go. But in this case, at least, I was able to get tickets for Deadmau5. But you may be thinking, why am I talking about Brooklyn Mirage? Because it's happening next weekend. But today is April 25th. When I'm recording this, I'll probably release this later today. Swedish House Mafia has announced that they are going to be at Brooklyn Mirage for a last-minute, one-night-only show on Saturday 27th. Yeah, the 27th. I'm beyond excited. It was really hard to get the tickets. If you know anything about it, I went immediately into waitlist because the app glitched, and I was like, I'm not going to get these tickets. This is just going to be an issue. But I actually did get the tickets 5 minutes after being on the waitlist. Still at around 10 in the morning, I got it. So I'm going, I'm happy, but I want to make this kind of video just to prepare everybody for a new season at Brooklyn Mirage, where it seems like artists are going to other venues. And when there is competition in any business, that makes things better. That means that maybe they will better hire the security guards where people won't have issues with them. Maybe they will control the drinking of their patrons a little bit more. Maybe they'll deal with the cleanliness and deal with the crowds. I think the crowds are actually going to be one thing too, because I think people say they always oversell the venue, but I think that, people just don't want to go after hearing all the bad things that happened at the venue last year. And then also EZU, again, parent company owns both, DJ issues and patron issues. So we may have just a more kind of bare bones season this year, and maybe that just makes it better. Maybe the prices will come down. Also, very interesting, talking about pricing, Swedish House Mafia announced their tickets, and at the very beginning, it showed $112. Then I heard some complaining, and then it went down to $82. This was before the pre-sale, and yeah, it began at $82, although the ticket that I got was eventually, I was like a tier up, so it was $118, which is still, it's expensive, and I do understand that's expensive, but then it further went up at $129 for general admission. Sure, VIP is like $229, something like that, but it's just, I'm hopeful for this. I don't have the big need about going as much as I did last year and previous years, just because I think I'm at a different point in my life here. I like recording these videos. I'm trying to keep things a little bit more professional with this since leaving my 9-to-5 a few months ago, and things are kind of trending on the right way, and I kind of want to keep myself balanced. I'm gonna go to shows still during the summer, but I don't have that need, maybe that I did when I was younger, to be like out every single weekend. It's just a change that's happening for me personally, but it seems to be a change for different reasons that's happening with a lot of people in the New York area with this particular venue. So I gotta ask, are you going to Brooklyn Mirage this year? Are you just not going because of what you heard last year, or because of the EZU stuff, or just for whatever reason? But for me, I'll be poking in a little bit, but if I do hear anything else, the only 2 tickets that I have are for Swedish House Mafia this week and Deadmau5 for next week. So after this, I could just end up not going at all. By the way, quick thing, camera policy was updated. I'm all about cameras, big and small. I don't even know where my small camera is right now. Small cameras, no cameras are allowed. Absolutely no cameras are allowed this year. I didn't get the chance to message them, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, when I get there, I'm going to ask them, hey, is this camera allowed or not? I know, for instance, you guys know that I use the DJI action cameras, like this one and the smaller one. When I bike there, I always use it as a dash cam. A camera even this small, half this size, was not allowed there. So just be known, they do have a code check. They will check it there. But even when I went to, I believe it was a Great Hall event, maybe a few months ago, I was like, guys, I always come with these cameras. Like, I always come, and I know that New York is getting a little bit more strict, because I used to go to Madison Square Garden, and for the first year that I went there, I was going with this small camera with the small little pancake short lens, and they were fine. And then recently, they're like, no, you can't bring that in there. I was like, what changed? What really changed? So the one that I really bring when I know small cameras are allowed, is this one. This is the HX99. This is a camera I recommend everybody to get. Has a 700mm zoom. By the way, not sponsored or anything. Has a 700mm zoom. It's incredible. But if you can't do it, at least bring a phone with like at least one of those 3 lens phones that you can do 5 times or 3 times zoom, because that's really all you're going to be allowed to bring in. I will try bringing in the other camera next week. I don't think this week, because I don't want to like mess anything up or forget anything at code check, because this is going to be the first time I've been to Brooklyn Mirage in a few months. But guys, again, be safe and have a great season there. If you want to contact me, I'm M8B9 on Instagram and Threads. You can email me at creativenyc2024@gmail.com. Oh yeah, we have another new Instagram, creative.ny, for all like the New York content. And we'll be rolling out some new channels here soon, so keep on the lookout for that. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you next time.